You're watching CIO News series for the topic of Wonder Women in Tech. And on my today's episode, I have Miao Song, the Global Chief Information Officer and Executive Board Member at GLP. GLP is a leading global investment manager and a business builder in logistics, real estate, infrastructure, finance, and related technologies. Miao, being the executive committee member, Miao is responsible for all the aspects of digital technology and data transformation. With more than 20 plus years of experience in the international markets like Netherlands, Switzerland, Singapore, etc., she's overlooked IT operations, application support, infrastructure support, strategy, and planning throughout her career. Meow, it is an absolute pleasure to have you today on our episode of Wonder Woman in Tech. And we're doing this series talking to women across the world to understand their journey, learn from it. And, I'm been seeing that, it has inspired a lot of women who are aspiring to be at a leadership level in technology. So, very excited to have you and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Kushbu, and it's a pleasure to be here today and to share my personal experience and journey. Specifically, women in tech is a topic of my heart.
Absolutely, and so is mine because I'll be honest, I have spoken to more than 35 women specifically on this topic who are at the leadership level across various organizations, and the kind of journey, their expertise, and the knowledge that we've got is fantastic. So I love doing this. So I'm sure it's going to be exciting today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Lovely. So, to begin with, maybe if you can share a little bit about yourself, what is that you do on a typical day, and what does your typical day look like?
Sure, absolutely. So just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Miao Song. As you mentioned that I'm Global Chief Information Officer and Executive Committee member of GLP, one of the largest investment as a builder of digital infrastructure, logistic warehouses, renewable energy, etc. I have been with the company for about 2.5 years. Prior to GLP, I was global CIO and board member of Mars Pet Care. It was a large global company focusing pet food and pet care. It's the same group of confectionery chocolate company. And I worked in Belgium for 4 years doing a global role, taking care of digital transformation and technology transformation for Mars Pet Care before. Prior to that, I was with Johnson & Johnson, which is the largest healthcare company. I was their Asia Pacific CIO for about 4 years. Before that, I worked in oil and gas company for Royal Dutch Shell, Nestle, etc. So my journey actually started many years ago when I graduated from school, from college, and I went to a company called Nestle. A lot of people are very familiar with Nestle. I was their first local IT hire in China many years ago. It gave me opportunity to grow, but also gave me opportunity to get to learn the culture of the company. But it was like rapid development of me being able to run technology work, but also, get to know the business. It was 4 years there. I did their ERP system implementation, even network implementation, etc. I even did the finance module implementation. I learned finance when I was in Nestle. So then I moved to Switzerland and, I spent a year there doing their global SAP blueprint and returned to China, taking on the role of CIO for Shell China long time ago. But as time went by, I felt there was a limitation of my role at that time. So I raised my hand to the company. I said, look, I need to get some more exposure. And I think my exposure and development opportunities overseas, not necessarily within the country itself. The reason I bring this example was because in that case, I actually raised my hand myself. As a result, and then the company decided to send me out of China. So I moved to the Netherlands in early 2000, and I took on a leadership role in one of the largest refinery in the world, which is the Rotterdam area. Never worked in refinery manufacturing environment before, but I learned quickly. I picked up the local language, very quickly in 6 months, and I get to know the business. I enroll myself in petrochemical courses. I spoke with the night shift of the operators to get to know how the operation works. So very quickly, I gained recognition from the leadership, but also with the business community. So the reason I brought up that was, I think the constraints of women today is in many occasions, we are shy to raise our hand to volunteer a senior role. We always thought we were not ready. We want a perfect situation where we were ready and we go there. But based on my experience, you never knew what is the door there open for you. So you need to actually have initiative to open another door of your life. So going overseas a long time ago, getting a global exposure, doing a different jobs really gave me more exposure, not just in my career development, but also gave me more exposure in my personal life. I was fortunate enough that I was able to work in different countries, including China, the Netherlands, Singapore, Switzerland, etc. I was able to rotate in the last 20 years in different locations. But personally, it also gave me opportunity to grow. So that's how I become me today. It's not just a high caliber technology leader, woman leader, but also gave me a very rich experience personally in my life.
Wow, this is really inspiring. And I'm sure there were a lot of hurdles during this whole journey. But I wanted to understand, like, did you always knew you wanted to be in the tech space from childhood? Like, you knew you wanted to get into the technology industry?
To be honest, I didn't have a clue, right? So, years ago, computer science wasn't a thing. I'm not disclosing my age, but you think about 30 years ago, the computer science wasn't a thing because at that time, even computer wasn't popular at that time. I still remember vividly that when I was in high school, in the school, we had one very old Apple machine, PC. I mean, it's not even Apple.
Yeah.
And then we, in the school, because of the limitation of number of computers, the students took turn to basically play on that computer. At that time, when I was, really my teenager time, I didn't even know what I'm going to do with a computer. I know I want to play with it, but I didn't make up my mind. I want to become a tech, specific information technology. But my interest grew when I became older. Then I decided eventually I pursue a major in college related to computer science and information management. And in this major, you don't see many women. You see some women, but you don't see women dominant in STEM generally, right? So based on what I learned in my past experience, I think, knowing what you want to do really help because I actually love what I do. Really, I think for everybody, including women and men, everyone, right? So you do the best only if you love what you do. That is the best. Either you do tech or you don't do tech. You have to love what you do. Otherwise, you'll never get there.
Right.
So that's how I get there. But obviously, in my professional career, I got into technology space. I was doing their IT job, information technology job. Eventually, grew into CIO role. And part of the learning is actually self-learning journey because you won't expect you learn everything, by school or you learn everything from the company. You need to have a self-learning motivation. So in the past 20 years, what I think I was doing very well is every time there's new technology came, because I'm personally, I had a lot of interest and I quickly learned myself. Either multiple way of learning it, either you learn it in a job, but you learn it from other channels. I constantly learn, even now, I constantly learn everything in the tech space or non-tech space. That's me. It's self-learning motivation. That's me. I would advise women, either they want to do tech or non-tech, specific in tech space, continuous learning, self-learning motivation is a key.
Right. I think so. That is exactly what I was trying to, derive from your conversation when you said you've achieved, It is really fantastic to hear your journey, that you've had so many accomplishments. You said that it is, of course, comes from, when you love what you do. Like you said, when you love what you do, you tend to keep, getting deeper into learning. And the other aspect is the hunger to learn. I think this is also something that I believe has kept you driven for all this long, right? To learn something new. This is one of
Yeah.
your personality traits, to keep learning something new every time in a particular domain, in tech or non-tech. I'm sure. Do you think that is one of the areas that has of your personality has got you to where you are today?
It is. It is. I'll give you a few examples, right? When I was in Nestle, really, really long time ago, it was my first job because I was only IT local hire, and I needed to support everything.
Hmm.
So immediately they throw a job to me, said, look, you need to set up the whole network for the country.
Yeah.
And I just coming from school didn't tell you how to set up network. So long time ago, I self-studied. I got even some of the network engineer certificate. It wasn't easy, but I was determined to do it. So
Yeah.
I made it in a few months. A few months later, and the company said, look, you're doing very well. Now we are doing ERP implementation. The first thing is finance. So I
Right.
had no idea about finance at that time. So I started to self-learn. I started with some general principle of accounting, bookkeeping, etc. I learned
Right.
all my work from the job. So that's how I learned. I mean, another example is with obviously the rise of generative AI since last year. But how can you learn, right? You can't expect the company you send to the school. No, that's not going to work. So how I learned generative AI, I mean, I remember because I was extremely interested in prompt engineering. I started to watch YouTube last year as a global CIO because I don't want myself lagging behind, not knowing the details. So I watch YouTube, and there's a social influencer. There are the tech geeks teaching people how to do prompt engineering. I learned from YouTube.
Hmm.
And I learn YouTube, and then I bring the tech to do prompt engineering. I learned from YouTube. co-workers. You need friends, all of us, especially women. We do need friends, women friends, right? The friends you can talk about anything. You get all this emotional support, the social support. I think that will help from a both personal perspective, but also professional perspective. And learning the technology is given, right? So, knowing the new technology profoundly, I think that's also help as well. At the end of the day, I wish we have more women, probably more women Elon Musk on this planet. We definitely need more. We need more women Einstein. We need more women Oppenheimer. We need more. We need women in science. We need women create new things, being bold. That is my wish, yeah. And my hope as well. I think it's not far away.
It is not far away. That is so true. But lovely. I think I've had such a lovely conversation, and trust me, I mean, I think I feel so good that we talk about it so candidly, and it has been a great conversation, Meow, and thank you so much for joining me today. Any last words that you would want to give to me and to the audience that will be viewing this?
Yeah, I think whether audience are men or women, or I think that the key thing is that follow your heart. This is something I learned. It's not easy to learn that follow your heart. Sometimes we always compromise, what you really think about certain things just because you want to achieve something else. But I think follow your heart will never get wrong. You follow your heart, you will do the best of true you. That was a piece of advice I would like to give women and men who is listening to this podcast or watching YouTube channel.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Meow. Thank you for joining me on this episode. And it was a lovely conversation. And whenever I am in Singapore, I'd love to come and meet you as well.
Yeah, thank you as well. Thank you, Kushbu.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.